everyone. After a week of telling other women how great we think they are, it makes sense to do a week on telling yourself how great you are. Not just yourself, telling the entire world. Now I've found that although no gender is definitively more boastful or prone to self-advertisement than the other, society in general sees men who accentuate their achievements much more positively than women. To the extent that often women are discouraged from listing their successes or strengths, and when they do, they often add small prefixes and hesitant qualifiers to dampen the effect of what they've said. Arrogance and boastfulness are not particularly loved by society in general. As seen in popular magazines and celebrity culture, we love to point out the good and bad things about people, but we hate it when other people apparently can do it for themselves. If you are too self-deprecating, for example, you're told to hold your head higher and let your assets shine. And if we do just that, it becomes boastful, arrogant, and uncomfortable to look at and view. Arrogance isn't nice, but blowing one's own trumpet should be massively encouraged and celebrated. If we all did it, no one would be boasting. And for those of you who say, well, I'm not good at anything, have a good look. Seriously. It's actually naturally easier to remember negative things than positive things. This is our brain's way of learning and remembering things. But you've got to fight it. This is an exercise that my mum once told me when you're feeling particularly low and you don't have much self-esteem, and everyone has those days. Basically, you list 16 things that are good about you, or things that you've done, things that you're good at. And if you find this hard, that's okay. As I said, it's psychologically easier to think of negative things. And we also train to be little, mousy, humble girls, and it's not in everybody's nature. But try this instead. List 16 things that you like, 16 things that they succeed at about a friend. And see how easy that is. Now, once you finish that, you pretend that you are your friend. So what would you like about yourself? Now, this isn't just applicable to social situations and self-esteem. This applies to every aspect of life, in particular like your career or professional life. Interviews, for example, are a tiny, tiny window to show the person what you are like and, all the good things about you. There's no need to lie or embellish the truth or, God forbid, sit in silence when they ask you what your strengths are. Everybody is good at something, and everybody has something that they can offer to an environment or a group of people or a job position. And if you don't tell them, they're not going to know. People aren't psychic. You need to advertise the things that you are good at. Otherwise, you're not gonna, sell yourself. Well enough. Now, accepting and becoming comfortable with being more vocal about your achievements can really help others and creating an environment where other people, especially women, do not feel as if they have to play down their achievements or their successes. And when they do so, become less threatening and less likeable. So there's no fear of that. Women need to encourage positive speaking among themselves as well. If you feel threatened by a woman who is, really positive and boasting all the time, then have a think of the things that you've done and the things that you're good at. And when you've done that, remember how difficult it is to actually voice those things, and then commend and celebrate what that woman has done and maybe follow her example. So, here is to blowing your own trumpet, and make sure that you do it at least once this week. Just have a go. I feel like Dr. Phil now, so I'm going to shut up and go bask in my own glory for a little bit. Okay, hope to have a good weekend and see you next week.